Okay, so today we are making a real estate flyer, and I'm going to walk you through how I create my real estate flyers. So we're going to start by going to uploads, and we are going to upload the pictures from our listing. I am not a real estate agent and I do not have a listing, so this is just from Zillow. So once your photos are uploaded, you also are going to want to have the price of the house, the address. I like to put in there the price, the address, the square footage, the bed, and the bath. So let me copy and paste these. Okay, so now I have that. So we're going to start by adding in two photos, one on the top, one on the bottom. I am probably going to put this one up top. I normally like to do like my top picture, the picture of the house, so people get that full look. Now, down below, I normally like to do like the backyard, but I think the backyard, no, yeah, let's do the backyard. Okay. So we'll put one down here. Now, when you're doing this, again, I'm only doing this of Zillow listings, so I can get away with it. But do you see how this one has this like San Diego MLS on it? Make sure when you're uploading your own listings to try not to use like the MLS pictures with that logo in the corner. I know you guys have to have MLS logo somewhere, but you can place it in a better position and not just that watermark on the bottom. It just looks like you got the photos off the internet like I did. Okay, so now we have both of these here. The next thing we're going to do is obviously come up with a color that we want to use, and then we're going to add in an element that is a square to the screen, and then I'm going to drag it so it fills the screen. I'm not going to make it huge. I basically just want it as like a centerpiece, so I want to make sure that it is centered. Then I'm going to go up here and change that color, and I'll probably just do like this nice little baby blue, matches with like the ocean vibe. Might make this a little bit skinnier. The next thing I'm going to do is add in a new page, and I am going to type in for sale, and I'm going to change that font to Canva Sans because I think that one looks the best for what I'm about to do. I'm going to hit bold. Well, gotta highlight it. And then I'm going to uppercase it and then drag it so it gets pretty big on the screen. And you don't want to do this on the picture up above. You want to do this on a separate page. Okay, now from here, I'm going to share that, download it as a transparent background. And then once that downloads, I am going to re-upload it into Canva. And I'm going to now add it to this page, and I like to crop out all the excess space because it's useless. The next thing I'm going to do from here is hit edit image. I'm going to go to shadows, glow, and I'm going to click that button again. It's like the settings. We're going to take the transparency all the way up, turn the blur all the way down, and mess around with the size. And go ahead and change the color. I'm going to do blue, but I'm going to do this a second time, so don't worry, you'll be able to see the blue once I'm done. So let's go ahead and click apply. Then I'm going to click it again, hit edit image, glow again, click it again, take the blur all the way down, transparency all the way up, and mess around with that size. Now you can see what I was talking about where I was saying how the blue obviously didn't show on the last one, but now it's going to show here. And we can hit apply. So now you have this bright sign. So we'll go ahead and throw this down here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this and I'm going to lock this in place. So we are now going to go back over to elements. I am going to click on blur, and I'm going to click on this little orange blur. And now, if you hear that pitter patter, it is my puppy's paws on our floor. So sorry in advance. So you're going to click on this and you are going to change the color to that same blue. And I'm going to just duplicate it straight across the board. Now, once I duplicate it, it's just going to, like, and I bring that second one in the same row, it's just going to go straight across the board. Now, if you're doing this and all of a sudden they start going in like a diagonal, you just have to make sure that you bring the duplicated one up next to the original one, and then it'll start copying it in that perfect row all the way across. So once I am done, obviously it's cropping off way too much and we want to show a lot more of the house. So 1 second and I will show you how to fix that. So let's go ahead and click on this photo and lock it. Let's click on this photo and lock it. Now we're going to highlight all of these and we're going to group them and we can drag it down. And when we drag it down, it's going to like so lightly just kind of cover the top and the bottom with that nice little blur. Now, if it is, I feel like I want to bring it up a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to bring this up a tiny bit more. And now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it one time and bring that part down a little bit. Because if we didn't, you can kind of see that harsh line. See how the harsh line is like right there? I don't like that. So we want to bring it down so it covers up that perfectly. Okay, great. Now we have that nice little blur going on. So the next thing, besides bringing this up here and bringing it to the front, so what you can do here is right click it and you can bring it forward. I like to use this little code on my keyboard. So it's command bracket is bring forward, or no, command left bracket is send back, command right bracket is bring it forward. And you just kind of keep doing it until it shows up. Because the layers, I don't know if I explained that very well, but the layers cause it to be behind. But you learn that in another course that I teach. And most people here already know the basics of Canva. Okay, so now we have the for sale sign. The next thing I'm going to go with is I want to put that subheading, which is going to be the address. So I like to do these in total uppercase. I don't really care about the boldness of it. But let's say, oh, this is a good size. Now what I'm going to do is center this. And I'm going to go to this line spacing button. And I'm going to, letter spacing. And I'm going to bring it way spaced out. See if I can do it a little bit more. And this is total personal preference. You do not have to do it like this. This is just what I'm into. I just think it looks visually appealing like that. Let's bring up this for sale sign a little more. Okay. Now we can go ahead and bold that. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to Elements and I am going to delete that and go down here to circle frames and I'm going to grab one frame and I'm going to bring it down in size. And once I find the size that I like, I am going to simply duplicate it, bring this one centered, and duplicate it one more time. And then the third time when you duplicate it, it should line up perfectly so you don't have to do it, like you don't have to drag it around to get that perfect line. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to put the photos in here and then the information below. Let me actually bring this. No, I guess it's in line. It doesn't look like it. Okay. Okay, so now let's bring in the other photos. So you're going to grab 3 other photos. The ones I normally like to use are the kitchen, obviously the kitchen cells. If you have a dining room, or not a dining room, a living room that you really like. And then for this house, I'm going to do another shot of the kind of front of the house area, just because I think it looks great. And you don't really get to see it up in this top image. So from here, we are going to go back to Elements. And we are going to grab another square. And we're going to make that square super skinny. We're going to bring it down here. Right here. And then I'm going to go up here to the border style. I'm going to round these corners. I love the way the corners looked rounded. and I'm going to bring the border weight to a 4 or a 3 maybe. Let's do a 3. Now, once I have that done, I'm going to change the colors so it looks a lot better. So let me go and add some white center. Let's see. Okay, so that looks great. You can play with the color of the border as well. You don't have to leave it like that. But it's all personal preference. You want to obviously make it match your brand. So now we have another one. We're going to make this one centered, and we are going to have one more from there. Now, obviously, these are touching, and we don't like that. So we're going to have to make them smaller. And let's start with the center one. So a little bit skinnier. Drag it to the center. Now let's go ahead and try that. Looks like that's going to fit. And one more. Lined up center and center. Okay, good to go. Now, once those are all perfectly lined up how you want them, now we're going to go and get the text for that. So I'm going to bring in a text box. It's going to look exactly how it looked up above with the address. So let's go ahead and not make it look the exact same. So let's bring in the letter spacing a little bit. Now we'll put it here, and now on the first one, that is where I normally place my bed and bath number. So it's 5 bed, 6 bath. So I'll go ahead and put that here. I like to use this line to space it out. You'll see. Okay, so now, actually, let's bring this to like right here. Spacing does look a lot better. Okay, so now let's bring it to the center. So we have the exact same spacing, font, size, everything matches. And then we'll bring it over one more time. Okay, now on the center one, that is where we are going to put the price. It's a big number. I want this house. Okay, so we have the price, and then on the far right is where we put the square footage. Now, that's just a personal preference and normally what my clients like. You don't obviously have to do that. You can put whatever you feel would be the most accurate information to place here. But again, this is more just like a personal preference of what my clients like. And then at the very bottom, I would tell you to put in your logo, your headshot. If you want to, you don't have to, but that's normally what I do on the bottom. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take this, duplicate it, bring it somewhere down here where it's not totally killing the view. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And we will duplicate the font again, the text, and bring it down here. Now, right here is where you're going to put your first and last name. You're going to put your phone number. Well, sorry, first and last name. Then you're going to put your job title, however you want it to be displayed. Your phone number, your email, and any other information that you might want, maybe your website. So now we're going to obviously bring all of this down in size. Let's see, one more time. This is going to look a lot better when you guys do it. Mine looks funky because obviously like these are all different sized. If you want to make it look even more spiced up, you can make your first and last name in a different font, maybe like a cursive style font or something more bolded than the rest of the text on this screen here. So once we have this down here and we have our logo in the MLS Equal Housing logo, the last thing we're going to do just to kind of solidify the whole piece is we're going to come over here, go to search elements. I'm going to type in key. You can type in key or anything that is housing related that you might want to use as like a little like decor touch to like these sides right here. But I normally use this gold key. Obviously, we know like not a lot of house keys look like this anymore, but I still like how it looks on my screen. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it smaller, kind of tilt it up a little bit. And I'm going to drag it just so it fits perfectly on both sides. And it kind of like frames it. Let's see. So let's bring it over here. Tilt it a bit. Let's see where this one was turned at. Okay, 50. So then on this side, we want 50. Okay, and now let's bring the lines up so it matches perfectly. Now, once you have it done here, you have your graphic done, and that is everything that I would put on this piece. And you have a quick little, I don't know how long this took, 10-minute graphic. I hope this helps you create a great graphic for your social media posts or for mailers or whatever it is you are using this to post on.